Hello today, guys. In this video today I'm going to be explaining to you how HVAC works, the refrigeration cycle. So those of you who are very new to this, that's what an air conditioner does indeed look like. Sometimes half the time I even forget what they look like when I'm not out there for a long amount of time. But basically I'm going to be explaining to you how this all works. Okay, so stay with me here. Now I drew out exactly what the refrigeration cycle looks like. Now I know some of you might be really confused right now, like, oh, this is a lot of drawing, blah blah blah. Well, I'm here to tell you that I'm gonna be simplifying this for you and making it very simple for you today to understand all this. So if you guys want to know how air conditioning works, come along. This right here, this is what you call a compressor. It's the heart of the system that pumps the blood through the veins. Okay, as you can see what I have drawn out right here. Now, coming out of the compressor, you have a line with hot gas. It's what you call your discharge line. Comes straight out of the compressor with hot gas inside the line, and it flows straight down into a coil. This is a coil. Basically, it's just a coil, and I'll show you what the coil is. What the coil is that thing right there. That box, that black box, it's the coil. That's where the saturation takes place. So basically, the compressor is inside the AC unit. It's in there. And basically, the discharge line comes out of the compressor inside there, and it goes straight into this coil right here. See? It goes straight into this coil. And it starts to condense. How? Because you have air being pulled in the side of the AC and out the top. There's a fan on the very top of an AC unit that pulls it into the side and pushes it out the top. So that's what it's doing. It's removing the heat out of the hot gas that's inside the line, and it's causing it to start to condense into a liquid. Once it starts to condense into a liquid, this green indicates that you have full liquid. Go straight out into the liquid line. Where does that look like? I'll explain that to you right here. So, what the liquid line indeed looks like, I'm going to explain to you here. This AC unit's not running right now. So this thing right here, this black box itself, is a coil. So coolant travels through this. It's what we call refrigerant. Travels right through this. Okay, so if you can look in there, you can see there is something that is a compressor. That big black looking tank right there with a white sticker on it, that is a compressor. A line comes out of it with hot gas, and it goes straight into this and starts this fan on top pulls air from the side and pushes it out the top to remove the heat within the pipe to then try to condense that into a liquid. Once that's done with, it comes straight out of the condenser basically into this line, this what you call the liquid line. Okay, so that's the liquid line. And where does that go? That goes straight into your house. It goes up the wall. So, basically, what I just showed you, the coil, that, the black box, this is what happens in it. So this is the compressor that we're looking down at inside the unit. Think of it as a big black tank that has two lines. It pumps. Basically what it does is it pumps gas through the system. So it's pumping it out this line, and it comes through this line, this discharge line, and then straight from the discharge line into what you call this right here. This is your condenser. This is your coil. The black box I showed you outside, this is what it is in the drawing, obviously, but I drew it for real what it looks like. But this is what's going on. So if you can look closely, disregard the blue, you see hot gas as the fan pulls air through the side and out the top. It's pulling cooler air to remove the heat from the gas inside the line, so that way it starts to condense into a liquid. Once it's condensed into a full liquid and drops temperature, it goes through the liquid line, straight through the liquid line into what you call the metering device. That will be in your house. You cannot see that outside, but all it is basically put your finger right over a hose while it's spraying water and have it come out. It's going to drop the pressure, that flow, and that will drop the temperature. You may not be able to tell, but it does. It drops when you drop pressure, it drops temperature. So that's what this device does. Metering device right here. Now, straight into there, it goes into when it drops the pressure and temperature, the evaporator coil should be around 40 degrees. So it drops that temperature instantly to 40 degrees, 25% vapor, 75% liquid comes in here. Okay? Starts to absorb the heat. Basically the heat inside the house. This is where you put your filter. This is a person. The air is getting pulled in and it gets pulled through the duct. The blower is pulling it and it's blowing it across this coil. Looks like the coil that I just showed you, the black box outside, but it's a coil that is pushed over. The air is pushed over from in your house and it comes right back out the other side of your vents and comes out cooler. Okay, inside the coil, it is liquid, refrigerant, and vapor. 25% vapor, 75% liquid. It's about 40 degrees and it cool. The coolant in there is cooler than the air, which would be, let's say, 75 degrees that you're trying to cool. Cool absorbs heat, so it's going to absorb the heat out of the air that's passing over it. The gas inside this line, basically. From there, after it boiled off into a full vapor, this is full vapor, it's traveling back through the suction line. I'll show you that. What is the suction line? So what the suction line is this line right here. This line with more insulation over it. This line right here. You don't need to know why it has insulation over it right now. I'll explain that in further videos. But this line, the coolant, the vapor that after it absorbed the heat and boiled off, absorbed the heat out of the air passing it, the coolant inside the pipe boiled off from that, basically, and that's how it cools your air. Heat transfer. And so it comes out here through this pipe back into the compressor. The compressor, if it's hard to say, to show you what it looks like, but it's set. See, it has a line coming out of it right there, and it has a line